Hi everyone, it's me, Krylios, Team Racing Productions MC and producer. And today, my special guest will be Sarah Mehrotra. Hello, Sarah.
How are you? It's good to see you.
I am doing well. Great to see you too. And thanks for being here on our YouTube Live. Such a
For having me.
pleasure.
Of course.
Of course. So let's begin by, letting our audience know who you are and what you're running for.
That sounds great. So hi everyone. My name is Sarah Mehrotra and I am running for DC's Ward 2 State Board of Education seat. I'm really excited about this opportunity. I've worked in education for my whole career, both on the education research side of things and currently in the advocacy space. I work on a range of projects from increasing teacher diversity in our classrooms to more equitable school funding, and of course, most recently, with COVID-19, working on some learning loss solutions. I'll also add that I have spent time in the classroom. I taught English overseas. It was a really incredible experience in Malaysia, teaching English as a second
Oh,
language, and
yes.
also taught at a school for students with disabilities. So thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, thank you so much and wonderful, wonderful. Tell me about, your top three priorities or the issues that, you kind of want to look at or tackle if elected.
Definitely. And I'll just say that, these priorities and issues came from my experience in education, a little bit of background. I've really known for my whole life that I want to be in education. I'm the daughter of a special ed teacher and a union member, and so have grown up really closely thinking about some issues that teachers in schools are facing, and have seen them firsthand when I've been in schools as well. And I'll also add that I'm really running because I believe that a good education system is one that is built on a collaborative relationship between policymakers, students, families, teachers, and that's what we need if we're going to make some real progress. And so I think that DC families really deserve someone who both understands deeply the education system and has spent time in the classroom. So those have shaped my top three priorities. One of which is addressing the teacher turnover rate. You're probably familiar with, and other folks are too. DC has one of the highest teacher turnover rates in the country, an average of 25%. And so we're not creating an environment where teachers can thrive and where they feel supported so often. As a member of the DC SBOE, I plan to fight alongside teachers, listen to them through things like teacher climate surveys, exit surveys, and safe spaces where they feel like they can truly express their voices and their needs and what they want for more support. So that's one of my top issues. My second is also related to teaching is diversity in education. I think many believe that education is a lever for change in our society, but we need to do more to make sure that our curriculum, our teachers, and other decision makers really reflect the students who they're teaching. As I mentioned, or maybe I mentioned earlier, I myself am the daughter of an immigrant, and growing up, the curriculum that I had in schools, it wasn't reflective of my background. And so my priority is really creating a curriculum where students see themselves reflected and encouraging us to have a teaching workforce where students see themselves reflected. So that's the second priority. Third is lifting up the voices of students and families. The role of any SBOE member should be to have one ear on the ground and prioritize what students and families need. They should continually shape priorities.
Of course, of course. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And speaking of priorities, it has been, this year has been a very, very different year and has affected so many, different sectors of our life and our society. And of course, education has also been affected. So tell me about, give me your thoughts or your opinions about how the pandemic has affected education, and school has just started back, and what that looks like, what that feels like.
Yeah, absolutely. So, a couple of things. First, I think that the pandemic has brought to light what teachers, students, and families have known to be true for a very long time, which is that schools are often at the heart of societal inequities. And so I want to acknowledge that the digital divide, lack of internet access, lack of mental health resources has existed in our schools for a long time. And so this year, of course, upon return to school, we hope that our national leaders would have a really serious plan to mitigate the spread of COVID. We unfortunately did not see that. And so it's been up to local leaders, which has been really, really challenging. And our teachers have nearly overnight transitioned their instruction to remote learning. But we need to support our teachers more. Ongoing professional development and professional learning for distance learning and for transitioning pedagogy to the screen instead of in front of students. It's they're really, really different. So that's one thing. Two is making sure that every student has access to a computer, which we have. I think it's a lack of political will is why we don't have that problem solved. In my work at the Education Trust, where I work right now, we've seen that across the country, other districts have gone to students' homes to deliver laptops and that have internet embedded, and connectivity is available through the laptop. So I think DC can do that too. And third, mental health supports. I think it's really, really important. Our students' lives have been upended nearly overnight. And we need to have some more school psychologists and guidance counselors. The average student to guidance counselor ratio in DC is 525 to 1. That's much higher than the what the Association of School Counselors recommends. So we need to make those changes. I think they're really, really pressing.
Very important. And looking a year into the future, after seeing
Yeah.
everything that has happened this year and the difficulties, the challenges, and all of those, getting the school year back on track. Looking a year from now, what is your hope for the start of the school year in 2021, for example?
My hope is that when we go back to school in person, first, that all teachers and school leaders are on board with that decision. I just want to mention that. But second is that we reopen differently than when we closed. Even before the pandemic, teachers were spending their own money on school resources. Many school facilities, they didn't have adequate soap dispensers or other facilities. So when we reopen, let's make sure that many of the inequities that have existed for such a long time are addressed so we can reopen our schools in a better position than when we close them.
Beautiful, beautiful. Tell me, Sarah, for the audience out there who want to support your campaign, who want to follow you, keep up with you, and learn more information, how can they go about doing that?
Definitely. So please feel free to visit my website. It's sarah2schools.com. Sarah's with an H. Forward is spelled out, and the number 2, schools.com. And you'll find my email address there as well. I would love to chat with folks. And also, please feel free to follow me on Twitter, Sarah _ my last name, M as in Mary, EHROTRA.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And thank you it's been such a pleasure having you here with me today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. And to our viewers, thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.